Hello, seventh graders. So this week in our poetry unit, we're going to be talking about the word personification. So if you see the word personification in this slide, the one word that pops out in my mind is the word person. Well, what does the word person have to do with a poetry device called personification? Well, the simple definition is giving human qualities to non-living or non-human things like a rock or a tree or a cartoon character or an animal. So I'm going to read to you a short story called Moon Goes Fishing, so you can, there it goes, Moon Goes Fishing, so you can get an idea of what personification sounds like in poetry. So this book is called The Moon Goes Fishing by Dana Simpson. And not only does Dana use a lot of great personification, I want you to also be on the lookout or listen for some similes and metaphors. The moon goes fishing for the smallest souls. And I'll show you the pictures. This moon shone in the purple sky like a coin tossed up and caught mid-game. Great simile in there, like a coin tossed up and caught mid-game. A rabbit turned silver in the soft night. Listen to the wind. The moon is going fishing, she said, and glided in black velvet toward the river. So the moon is going fishing is an example of a metaphor, personification. And glided in black velvet toward the river is a great metaphor. A nightjar sang the news through the sleeping forest. So a nightjar is a type of bird, and even though birds sing, they don't sing the news. So that's personification. And through the sleeping forest. Well, forests don't go to bed, so a sleeping forest is another great example of personification. The red fox led her children to the river's edge. Their pink tongues lapped the cool water. A blue heron picked her way along the marshy bank. The moon is going fishing, sang the dragonflies. Now, dragonflies make noise, but they don't sing, so there's personification. In the vast quiet of the wee hours, all the animals peered into the dancing reflections cast by the moon into the ink river. So there's the reflection. And even though the waves make it seem like they're bouncing around, they really don't dance. That is also personification. They looked into the big sea sky where the stars glittered like so many fish. Great simile. The moon shone like a promise. Another simile. As the night wore purple then pink around her edges, each small head nodded and their dreams filled the sky. So in this particular verse, the night is being made female as the night wore purple then pink around her edges. So giving the night gender is personification, as well as the night wore purple then pink around her edges, which means night is fading and the sun is starting to come up. So that is great examples of personification. The animals dreamed that the moon stood with them and called to the river. So the moon stood with them and called to the river, because the moon's pretty quiet, can't do that stuff. The blue river spun her waters with silver moon threads into a fine net, and when the moon winked, 1,000 fish flew up into the sky. So this whole verse is filled with personification. The blue river is now again being called a her, so given her gender, makes it personification. She spun her waters with silver moon threads into a net, so the river spins a net. And then when the moon winked, well, it looks like there's a man in the moon, but it can't wink, so that is personification. The rabbit woke up, blinking his eyes, wondering at the fading night. The smiling moon slid over the horizon, stealing his glittering catch home. So smiling moon, stealing his glittering catch home, awesome examples of personification. And the last page, pretty sweet. If you look into the night now, the fish are swimming that ink sky. their tails kicking up stars to light. They dance the moon through every night. So again, the story ends with a great example of personification. So the next slide, several slides, you're going to be given some cartoon images. And what I want you to think about is, well, what are the human qualities that are given to each of these different cartoons? So here we have the beloved Bugs Bunny, a rabbit from history. And you'll notice this rabbit does not look like an ordinary rabbit. When we compare Bugs Bunny to this cute little white guy sitting in the grass, there's some major differences. First of all, what do you see? I see this cute little fuzzy white rabbit, the real guy, kind of sits on his haunches, only has his front legs and forelegs are down on the ground. His ears are straight back. He doesn't seem to be wearing gloves. If we look at Bugs Bunny, first thing I notice, he stands on his two hind legs. He's holding a carrot like a cigar. He's wearing white gloves because they have the little wristbands. What other human qualities does Bugs Bunny have? Well, he talks, he drives a car, he shoots a gun, he does anything and everything that a human can do. So that means we have personified this rabbit to make him more human than rabbit. In this image, a baseball player has just hit a home run, and that ball is screaming out of the ballpark. When I use the term the baseball is screaming out of the ballpark, that is personification. So I want you to look at this picture and just think about the human qualities a baseball would have if it is hit hard enough to leave the ballpark. And here we have a happy little sun. And again, right there, that's personification. Happy little sun. What's this sun doing? What human qualities does the sun have? He's smiling down on the earth. He's beaming his or her, whichever gender you prefer. He's beaming his rays down on the farm. So giving a non-living, non-human item gender, that's personification. Giving it human qualities like smiling or sharing, or the sun shares its rays with the world. So giving it human qualities, think about what other qualities the sun has. So we've got this old storm cloud, wind cloud. What human qualities does the wind have? The wind whistled, the wind blew, the wind, think about maybe a stronger wind. What kind of sounds, what kind of human behavior is that cloud showing, trying to give us some wind? So think about what human qualities does the wind have? And lastly, we have this tree that's bent over in the wind. So we could just say that the tree is bent in the wind, but that's not very poetic. If I said the tree is dancing in the wind or swaying in the wind, those are human qualities. So when you look at that picture, what human qualities does that tree have, that tree in the wind have? So after you watch this video, what I want you to do is go on down. There's a really cute video by the Bazillions that kind of gives great examples and good definitions and all kinds of things that will help you better learn the term personification. And then there's a poem you're going to read where I want you to identify as many examples of personification as you can. So after this video, watch the Bazillions YouTube video and then complete the poem assignment about the oak tree. All right, so have fun.